Monday, we did all the crazy inversion, upside down, headstand stuff. So today you get to kind of take a break from all the craziness and we'll just do some gentle hip opening. Obviously, hip opening can be intense, so just kind of monitor your body this morning and we'll go from there. Let's go ahead and have a seat and get tuned in. Just take a moment and find a nice straight spine. Everything aligned, shoulders relaxed, jaw soft, eyes closed. Big deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through your mouth. Just take a couple of normal breaths, feeling into your body. Let's begin some deep, slow Ujjayi breathing. And then just make note of any thought patterns, any emotions, what your energy is like, just kind of checking in with the other aspects of you this morning. And then bring your palms together in front of your heart. Let's go ahead and set our intention for practice this morning. When you're clear about your intention, take a deeper breath in. Big sigh. If you are in a cross-legged position, stay there. If you have to modify in some way, that's fine. We're just going to start with 3 slow torso circles in each direction. So hands are on the knees. If you're cross-legged, if the legs are extended, you can put your hands under your thighs. And as you exhale, you're just going to lean forward. As you inhale, you'll be leaning back. So we're just circling around the hips. It's a nice way to kind of see what's going on in there this morning. We'll go 3 in each direction. So when you've gone 3 in the first direction, just switch. And then as you finish that out, I want you to just go straight into your first downward facing dog. Pedal the feet a little bit if you need to, roll the shoulders, whatever feels good. And then just take a moment and find that stillness and try and get a little bit of length in the spine. And then from here, we'll walk the feet forward. Keep the knees bent and literally hang in our ragdoll. Make sure your neck is relaxed. If you need to move your head around or sway a little bit, all of that's good. We're just lengthening the spine here, lengthening out the glutes as well. It's part of why we bend our knees and our ragdoll is so that the glutes will take more stretch than the hamstrings. On your next inhale, come all the way up, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Just stretch and then exhale, fold forward. Standing forward bend, remembering to hinge at your hips and bend your knees if you need to. Keep your fingertips beside your toes if you can, as you look up and lengthen. And then back down. We're going to step back with our left foot. Just hold your lunge for a moment. Drop your left knee down. Bring the arms up and overhead. Tuck your tailbone under. Lift your chest. Let your hips move forward. So we're just kind of saying good morning to the front of the left hip. On your next exhale, If it's okay with your body, just rotate open to the right with the arms out like a T. You want to keep that left hip moving forward, but keep that backward tilt of the pelvis. If it feels okay, palms together, left elbow outside your right near thigh. Press into your palms to lift your chest as you twist to look over your right shoulder. And now you might begin to feel this a little bit in your right hip. We're going to bring the hands down, fully extend your right leg, flex the ankle and toes, pull your chest forward. And then from here, we're going to step it back to plank. Modifying our first vinyasa, dropping to knees, chest and chin. And then let's go ahead and untuck the toes and slide the arms forward and get a nice spine lengthening sphinx. So glutes and low back, of course, are intimately related. So in working our hips today, we want the spine to lengthen. On your next exhale, go ahead and move into your downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward, up between the hands, and just hold your lunge for a moment. We're going to drop the right knee down and bring the arms up and overhead. Pelvis tilts back as we allow the hips to move forward. So you want to feel it on the front of your right hip here. Keeping that pelvis strongly tilted on your next exhale, rotate open to your left. The right hip continues to move forward. So it should be almost a little more intense on the front of the right hip. And then if it feels okay, palms come together, right elbow outside left near thigh. We push into the palms to lift the chest and twist to look over left shoulder. Maybe now you feel it in the left outer hip a little bit, the left glute. Bring the hands down, fully extend your left leg, flex the ankle and toes, pull your chest forward. And then step forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. We're going to step back with the right leg this time. Nice deep lunge. Hold it for a moment. And then drop the right knee down and put the left hand on the inside of the left knee. Roll to the outside edge of your left foot. Apply some pressure to the inside of that left knee. But you want to make sure you keep your left foot rolling outward. We don't want any torque at the ankle or the knee. This is just about the hip. Let the left knee point back up towards the ceiling. Bring your left hand down inside the left foot. Let's go ahead and come onto the right forearm. You're welcome to use a block here if you need to. If you feel like you can come onto your left forearm as well. Maybe gaze forward. And if you're feeling like you're already pretty warm, turn the right toes under and lift the right knee up. That is optional. You can keep your right knee on the ground if you like. Try and keep the left thigh kind of hugging in towards your body. Don't let that left leg just drop and splay open. And then from here, we'll come up onto the hands, step back to plank, and take the vinyasa of your choice this morning. Make sure you're lengthening your spine in your downward facing dog. And then step forward with your right foot and just hold your lunge for a moment. Drop your left knee down, put your right hand on the inside of the right knee, roll to the outside edge of that right foot, and then apply a little bit of pressure to the inside of your right knee. So again, the idea here is to find sensation in the right hip, not the knee or the ankle, so be mindful. And then we're going to let the right knee point straight back up towards the ceiling. Bring the right hand down inside that right foot. Come onto the left forearm or a block, maybe both. Take a moment, see how it feels. If you're feeling up to it, turn the left toes under and take that left knee off the ground. You want to keep your right leg kind of snugging in towards your right rib cage. Come back up onto your hands, step forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Pardon me. Take your feet about the width of the mat. So today for your yogic squat, please, as much as your body allows, keep your toes pointing forward. You might play with, if you have a really hard time doing this, pardon me, play with the width of the feet. Maybe coming a little closer together would help, or maybe going a little farther apart would help. So truly today, so that we're primarily hitting gluteals, toes point forward. You want your feet parallel, your heels stay flat. You start to drop the tailbone. You can support yourself on your thighs if you need to, or you can allow your hips to drop all the way down, keeping the heart lifted. Take a couple more breaths here. Just let the glutes stretch. Let the spine lengthen. And then on your next inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, palms together. Now you're going to take your feet out a little bit, rotate them out. I'm just going to turn and face you. You don't necessarily need to go wider. You're welcome to go sideways if you want, but we're just going to do a little spinal hip tractioning here. So the toes point out so that the knees can follow them. Bend your knees and put your hands on the inside of your thighs. You just want to be able to apply pressure to the inner thighs. So we're going to twist and look over the right shoulder. I like to bend my right elbow because I get more twist. You don't have to, it's up to you, but your left elbow needs to be totally straight. So while you're looking over your right shoulder, you're applying pressure to that left inner thigh. And what you should feel is some left hip and left side of the spine stretching. Come all the way back up, and we'll just switch sides. You're going to twist and look over the left shoulder. It's up to you whether or not you bend that left elbow. You want to press your right arm completely straight against the inside of that right thigh. Come all the way up from that. You can bring your feet back together at the front of the mat. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, fold all the way forward into your standing forward bend. Inhale, look up, and then exhale back down. We're going to step back with our left foot, spin the heel flat, rise up into warrior two. Take your left hand to your left thigh, reach that right arm up and over to reverse your warrior. Now, while you're here, go ahead and make sure your right outer hip is very activated. So you want to feel your right knee pressing towards your little toe, but your foot is still parallel to the long sides of the mat. Don't rotate that right foot out. Come all the way back up. Take your right hand to the floor outside your right foot or ankle, left hand to the ceiling. Come back up. You're going to keep your right knee bent. We're still playing with Warrior 2. This is how we fatigue that right hip. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And as much as you can, fold down the midline of your body, keeping your right knee bent, relaxing the neck, reaching the arms up and overhead. While you're still hanging down here, put your right hand inside that right thigh, put your left hand down by your left ankle, and press your right arm straight for another traction. Now, as you come back up into your Warrior 2, you can finally straighten your right leg. You should have awareness in the right hip. Kick the left hip to the left, lengthen your rib cage to the right, and find your triangle pose this morning. At this point, it should already feel like a pretty sweet relief. So listen, from here, we're coming back up into Warrior 2. We got one more move. Both hands are going to come down inside your right foot. Keep your left heel flat, please. The first thing I'd like you to do is just pull your right hip back and your left hip forward. When you do that, if you're tight in the hips like I am, I'm already feeling it in my right hip. I don't even have to do anything else. If you would like more, your right arm reaches under your right leg and you plant the hand on the outside of the right foot. Your left hand grabs your right ankle. You keep that right hip pulling back and you start to pull as though you're going to pull your head and shoulder under your right leg. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. It's all about the sensation in the right hip. Take one more breath. Unwind yourself and step straight to downward facing dog. So you should feel a big difference between the right hip and leg and the left. And if you're at your magic 4 points from this down dog, you can simply shift into your plank and flow through your vinyasa. So from here, we take the left foot forward, spin the right heel flat, and come up into our Warrior 2 on the left side. Take your right hand to your right thigh, left arm up and over. And so just like we did on the first side, I'd like you to be really mindful of your left knee and left outer hip. Left knee gently presses towards the little toe. Left outer hip is very engaged. Come back up. Left hand outside, left foot or ankle, right hand to the ceiling. We're going to keep this left knee bent. Come back up, Warrior 2. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Try and fold right down the midline of the body. Try and relax your neck. Reach those arms up and overhead. While you're still hanging forward, release the hands. Left hand to the inside of the left thigh. Right hand by your ankle. Press your left arm completely straight. Finally, as you come back up, you can straighten that left leg. Woohoo! Kick your hips to the right. Lengthen out. Find your triangle on the left side. And then we've got that one more exciting hip move. Come on up, Warrior 2. Bend your left knee. Take your hands down to the mat inside your left foot, but keep your right heel flat. In order to get the sensation, you really do have to pull left hip back and right hip forward. And if that's enough for you today, you don't have to do any more. But if you want more, the left arm reaches under the left leg and you plant the hand. The right hand grabs that left ankle and you pull a little bit. Unwind from that and step yourself straight back, pardon me, downward facing dog. From this down dog, you should be able to just shift into a plank without adjusting hands or feet and flow through a vinyasa. From this downward facing dog, you can either walk or jump forward, standing forward bend. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Take your feet to the width of the mat. Yogic squat number 2. This is kind of how we're checking progress today. Feet parallel, very important today. Try not to let your feet splay out to the sides. We don't want external rotation. We want feet parallel. Heels flat, drop your buttons. Come on back up. Step your feet together, bring your palms together. So we're gonna balance in a standing pigeon before we actually do a full pigeon on the ground. What that's gonna look like is you're standing upright, you've got your foot or ankle in both hands, and you're just kind of trying to manipulate it so that you feel it in your glute. So that's kind of where we're going with it. If you need something to lean against, you can put your back against the wall. We're gonna stand on the right foot first, which means you'll grab left foot or ankle, if you can, with both hands. Flex the ankle. Try and open the knee a little bit and pull your left foot kind of in the direction of your right armpit, and you wanna stay vertical here. Take a couple more breaths. You're looking for sensation in your left glute. And we'll release. Standing on your left foot, reach down, grab right foot or ankle if you can with both hands. Try and open the knee joint up a little bit, keep your ankle flexed. You are pulling your right foot in the direction of your left armpit. And release. Good job, you guys. Feet together, palms together at the front of the mat. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale and fold all the way forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale all the way back down. So you're going to step back with your left foot. You're in a lunge. Just hold your lunge for a moment. If you can, keep your left hand planted. Rotate both feet a full 90 degrees to the right. Let the hips sink, but your left leg is very straight. So we're looking for sensation in that right glute again. Right hand can reach for the ceiling, or it can reach in front of your right shin for a little bit of torque. Take a couple more breaths. Rotate your toes back around, step back to downward facing dog, pause for a breath, and then take your right leg up in the air, bend the knee, roll the hip bone open, and then swing your right leg underneath you And we'll do our first pigeon. Sliding left leg back. If you are able, you're coming onto the forearms. So you want to feel this in your right glute. One more breath here. And then step straight back to downward facing dog again. Stretch it out. And then shift into plank and take your vinyasa. Take your left foot forward, so you're in a lunge. Hold that for a moment. And then if you can, keep your right hand planted. We're going to rotate both feet a full 90 degrees to the left. Right leg stays straight, but the hips are sinking. Left hand can reach for the ceiling, or it can reach in front of the left shin. We're looking for sensation in the left hip. Rotate all the way back around, step straight back to downward facing dog. Pause for a breath, and then take your left leg into the air. Bend the knee, roll your hip bone open. And then swing your left leg underneath you for pigeon. Slide your right leg back. And come on to your forearms. Couple more breaths on this side. And then we step straight back, downward facing dog, stretch it out. And then shift into plank and take your vinyasa. From this downward facing dog, you can either walk or jump forward, standing forward bend. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Next version of a standing pigeon. This is the one where we lean forward. It looks more like a standing figure 4 stretch. So you're going to be standing on your right foot first. You want to take your left ankle across your right knee with the foot flexed and the left leg opens out to the left. The arms are overhead. As you start to bend your right knee and poke the tailbone back, your arms are reaching forward with your chest. So you're trying to keep the back extended. Left ankle flexed. You're finding the place where you feel sensation in your left glute. And then come all the way up and release. Same thing on the other side. Standing on your left foot, your right ankle crosses your left knee. You want to flex that right ankle and press the knee out to the side. Your arms are overhead. You start to bend your left knee and poke the tailbone back as you extend your chest forward. And then come all the way back up. Take your feet to the edges of the mat. It is your third and final yogic squat. Checking progress. Toes point forward. Bend those knees. Keep your heels flat. See how your body's responding this morning. I apologize for the cat intrusion. They're extra spunky this morning. From here, you can go ahead and inhale all the way back up. As you exhale, bring your feet together and your palms together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, look up halfway. And then exhale, back down. You can either walk or jump back to plank, and you'll be taking your last vinyasa here. Really lengthen in your down dog, and then you can either walk or jump forward and have a seat in Dandasana, legs extended. So as you come to Dandasana, just find your nice straight spine, everything aligned, check in, body, breath, mind, heart, energy. And then we're gonna keep the right leg straight. Left foot's gonna come to the inside of the right thigh. Lean out over your right leg. Come back up. Pick your left foot up and bring it on top of the right thigh, just above the knee with the foot flexed. Just like we did in our balance a moment ago. Lean back out. And then go ahead and come on up and keep your ankle crossed. So your hands are right behind you. We're going into that seated pigeon or seated figure 4. Your right knee is going to bend and you're going to scooch up towards it, keeping your chest lifted. This is why we have the hands on the floor. Now, if you prefer to grab your right shin, you're welcome to do that, but don't hunch and round. The idea is to pull the heart up and forward. The straighter your spine, the better. Take a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to put the hands back on the ground. If they're not still there, walk the right foot over and flex it because we're coming into stacked logs, double pigeon, fire logs, Agni Stambhasana. Call it what you will. It's a rather intense hip opener for some of us. Both ankles stay flexed. If you need to, you can lean forward. Three more breaths here to let the magic work. As you come up from that, you may unwind your legs, extend them out, and give them a good wiggle. And then we'll keep the left leg straight. Bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Lean out over the left leg. And then we're going to come up and pick the right ankle up. Make sure it's flexed. Bring it on top of the left thigh. Lean out again. And then we come up, keeping the ankle crossed. Hands are behind us for that super straight spine. Bend your left knee and scooch up towards your left heel, keeping your spine straight. If you prefer, clasp your left shin, but lift your chest and pull it forward. Be really mindful of not hunching the back or rounding the back. And then if your hands are not still on the ground, put them back down there because that left foot's going to move over underneath the right knee. Both ankles flex. And you should be feeling this in your right outer hip. If you need to lean forward and breathe. Come on up from that, extend your legs out, and give them a good wiggle. Yay! All right, from here, both legs are extended. You're on your sit bones, very important. Lift your chest, extend out over both legs. Take a moment and notice how that feels. See if you're feeling it primarily in the hamstrings, which means your glutes and low back have lengthened, or if you're feeling it more in the back or the glutes. Come on up from that. Here's what I'd like you to do. Take your feet maybe a little wider than your shoulders, not super wide, you guys, just a little. Want your toes pointing directly up. Keep them that way. Bend your knees. So don't let the legs splay out. Knees and feet are straight up. Lift your chest. Grab the outside edges of your feet, but don't allow the knees or the feet to change. Lift your heart and start to pull forward. It's like doing a yogic squat, but you're doing it sitting down. Take a couple of breaths, similar to a dead bug. And then release, extend your legs out, and give them a good wiggle. And just like that, you get to roll onto your back, hug your knees into your chest, and rock side to side for a moment. That should feel pretty good. And then we're going to take the left thigh. Make sure you're taking your left thigh on top of the right thigh. Left thigh crosses over the top of the right thigh. Pardon me, tight crossing of the legs. You hug the knees in so that you're feeling it in your left glute. If you can, you flex your ankles and you reach down and you grab the feet or ankles. Try and get about a 90-degree angle at the knees and then pull them in towards you. I like to think of it as pulling my feet towards my armpits. That means they're moving up towards my ears. In other words, my knees are in my chest, and my feet are also kind of pulling down towards the floor. You get to experiment here with how much and in what direction you pull, but the idea is to find some pretty deep sensation in your left glute. Couple more breaths here. Keep your knees crossed tightly, just like they are. Let go with your hands. Draw 3 circles in the air in each direction with your knees. Make sure you go both ways. This is just kind of making your back happy. And then keeping your knees tightly crossed, put your right foot back down in the middle of the mat. We're going to take both knees over to the right for a nice deep spinal twist. At this point, if twisting this deep is not good for you, you can uncross the legs. Otherwise, give it a shot, because in this position, not only are you getting the spinal twist, but you're getting a final little bit of stretch in that left outer hip. One more breath here. And then we're going to come back up and uncross the legs, hug the knees in, and just rock side to side. Now we go for the other side. Now it's your right thigh on top of your left thigh. So right thigh crosses over the left very tightly. Hug the knees in. If you feel like you can, you reach down and you grab the feet or ankles. You flex your ankles. You open your knees up to about 90 degrees. And then you're kind of pulling your feet literally towards your armpits. You should feel this in your right glute this time. Couple more breaths here. Keep your knees tightly crossed, but let go and draw 3 big circles in the air with your knees in each direction. As you finish out, keep the knees crossed, put your left foot back down in the middle of the mat. Right arm opens out to the right, knees drop to the left. So again, if you need to have less pull on the back, you can uncross your legs here. Otherwise, keeping them crossed, dropping them to the left, head turning to the right, you should feel a little something in your right hip along with your spinal twist. One more breath. Come on back up, uncross your legs, hug your knees in, and rock side to side. So we're going to do a bridge pose for our inversion today, but we're going to add a little something extra, a little bit of hip stuff to it. So go ahead and bring your feet flat, big toes touching, heels separating. I want you to go ahead and lift your hips to whatever degree you're going to lift them this morning. It's up to you if you want to do fingers interlaced underneath you or not. Completely just a matter of preference. From here, keeping your hips high and level, left ankle crosses right knee. The foot flexes. The left knee drops, but the left hip does not. Take a couple of breaths. Keeping the hips in the air, left foot goes back down. Right ankle crosses left knee. Right knee drops, but the hip does not. Right foot goes back on the ground. Hips stay high for 2 more breaths. And on your next exhale, lower down, hug your knees in, and rock side to side. Keep your right knee hugged in, extend your left leg all the way out. Just hug your right knee for a moment. Then from the inside, you're going to grab the arch of your right foot with your right hand. We're doing just the right half of dead bug. So you're trying to get your lower leg vertical and apply a little bit of pressure. You're pulling down. So it's like you're trying to pull your right knee to the floor, kind of where your armpit is. Then I'd like for you to let go of the arch of the right foot. Keep your foot flexed and your knee bent. I want you to just drop it straight out to the right. Do not let your right foot hit the ground. The whole idea here is we're letting gravity open us. So if you look down at your right leg, your right knee is shooting straight out from the right hip. Your right lower leg is parallel to the long sides of the mat, and your foot is flexed at 90 degrees. Hold this for 1 more breath. Nothing is touching the ground on that right side. Very important. And then go ahead and bring your right leg back up. Give it a good squeeze. Bring the left knee to meet it. Keep your left knee hugged in. Extend your right leg all the way out onto the floor. And then grabbing from the inside, we get the arch of the left foot in the left hand. Get your left lower leg vertical. And then you apply some pressure. You're pulling down. So you should feel this in your hamstring and your glute on that left side. And then we're going to release the arch of the foot. Keep the ankle flexed and the knee bent at 90 degrees. You're going to let that left knee go straight out from your left hip. Your left lower leg is parallel to the ground. Your left foot is flexed. Nothing's touching the floor. We're letting gravity help us a little bit with this single froggy leg. Bring that left knee back up, hug it in. Bring your right knee to meet it. Side to side rock. Grab the outside edges of the feet and wiggle around in your happy baby. Just taking a few breaths to make sure we got it all. There shouldn't be anything left in the hips that needs to release. So just explore. If you do find something, breathe it out. And then when you're ready, your feet are going to come to the mat. We're going to drop the knees apart. Let the soles of the feet touch each other. Just kind of take a breath here. Just letting the knees drop open. Gravity again will help us. And then let's lengthen out the low back. So the next time you breathe in, press the low back into the mat. You're basically tilting your pelvis back, taking the curve out of the spine. You're breathing, you're just letting the low back muscles lengthen, and then the next time you exhale, relax. You'll let the curve come back into your spine. It's a natural arch. Once more, inhale, press the low back into the mat, removing the natural arch. And then the next time you exhale, allow it to return. Extend your legs. Make sure that your glutes are soft, that the legs are totally relaxed, and that includes the sides of the hips. I mean, really make sure that your lower body is happy, and then lengthen your spine and your neck, relax your shoulders, let your hands be palms up, down, below the shoulders. Get a little bit of space between the teeth so that your jaw is relaxed. Close your eyes gently, soften your forehead. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, just sigh it out the mouth and begin to relax. Really feel your body letting go breath by breath. The more relaxed our muscles get, the heavier they become. You've heard the expression dead weight. Well, when we are truly relaxed, we do feel heavier. So feel that weight of your muscles. Notice that your breath softens and gets shallower and gentler as your muscles relax. Feel how the thoughts seem to recede into the background. They're still there. They're just not front and center. The thoughts become less important. And that's useful because thoughts are simply thoughts. They're not real. However, it's our thoughts that create our emotions. So when we can let go of any kind of investment in our thoughts, then our emotions become very level. We become very calm. True equanimity. For the next few minutes, I'd like you to keep your thoughts in the background, and that might take some effort. And notice that there is almost an absence of emotions. There's no exuberant, ecstatic joy, nor is there any pressing grief or anger or frustration. You're simply in a very calm, peaceful, neutral state. So when we don't invest in our thoughts, the emotions can simply settle. Notice if you're caught up in your thoughts, or notice if you're simply resting in that beautiful, calm, peaceful, neutral state. So the reason it's helpful for us to find this calm, peaceful, neutral state in our emotions is because emotions create physical reactions. Thoughts aren't real, but they create emotions, and emotions create reactions in our body, which is real. So when we can control that, we really actually have the capacity to control our health overall. Control your thoughts, you can control your emotions, which can control your body. Seems very simple, can be quite challenging, but it's a worthwhile endeavor. Begin to move your fingers and toes a little bit and deepen your breath, feeling into your body. On your next deep inhale, spread the fingers and toes. Exhale through your mouth as you relax them. Deeper breath in and just stretch. And exhale. Bend your knees, maybe even hugging them in. And then you can roll to your right side. Press yourself up to sitting. So in keeping with this beautiful, calm theme to our practice today, we're going to practice Ahamgraha Pranayam, which means effortless breath work. I've done this with you guys a couple of times before. It's a really sweet breath. It's one of my favorites now, actually. So just find your straight, relaxed, aligned spine. Close your eyes. Your breathing should be completely normal. Don't try to lengthen it or control it. The breath is just doing what it does. And all you're going to do is start noticing that when you inhale, you can actually feel the breath in the upper sinuses, the upper part of the nostrils. Just gentle, effortless breaths. Noticing that you feel the breath in the upper part of the sinuses and that it's kind of moving towards that third eye point between the eyebrows. Noticing that you can feel the breath moving in the upper sinuses towards that third eye point, and you can kind of feel that expansion in the heart space. Again, we're not controlling the breath. We're simply watching these sensations. It's effortless, but we can see that movement towards the third eye point, and we can feel that opening in the heart space. And then finally, realizing that we can feel the breath in the upper nostrils moving towards the center of our eyebrows. We can feel the heart kind of expanding, and we can be aware of sort of generally the crown of our head, the top of our head. Effortless breathing, no control of the breath. You're just watching it and observing these sensations and awarenesses. Feeling the breath moving up the nostrils towards the third eye point. Feeling expansion around your actual heart and general awareness of the crown of your head. So aham graha means without gripping or grasping, without effort. And it's just a beautiful reminder that there is a time for strong effort and pushing into things. And there's also a time for no effort, for being passive and relaxed and calm and just letting things take their course. So slowly bring your palms together in front of your heart in gratitude for the multitude of lessons that yoga provides. Physical direction, mental direction so that we can control our thoughts, which in turn allows us to control our emotions. So emotional assistance, which in turn leads us back to the reactions in the body. So physical direction. So it really plays into all of those, and the medium it uses is prana, which is life force or energy. So just taking a moment in gratitude for your practice today, for the practice of yoga as a whole. It is truly a gift to us modern day humans. And then take one more deep breath in through the nose. Big sigh through the mouth. Palms to the forehead, just a reminder to stay present, to be right here, right now, in the moment. Palms to the lips, reminding us to speak our truth, to not stay silent. Palms to the heart, reminding us to keep the heart open so that when we do speak, it's from a place of love, kindness, and compassion. And that we remember to be kind and compassionate and loving towards ourselves as well. Thank you for practicing with me this morning. It's always my honor and pleasure. Namaste.